Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today I want to show you all how to use two-component seam sealer. Okay, the particular one that we're going to use today is a self-leveling type of sealer, and we're going to use it in the drip rail on this old Ford street rod here. When the car came to me, it didn't even have any seam sealer in it at all. So I've cleaned it up as best I can. Everything's in primer now. And I just finished sanding down inside of that. I mean, there's still dust on it down in there. So, yeah. But we've got scratches in there. Next thing I'm going to do is blow it out, wipe it out with some wax and grease remover. And then we'll get our seam sealer out and talk about it. Alright, so even after all that blowing off action we had, we're still getting dust off there if we wipe it with our hands. So we do need to clean this with a solvent. I mean, you could theoretically just use a damp towel, damp with water, and wipe it out and then dry it and be good. We are going to use wax and grease remover. Lots of different stuff out there. Some people just call it Prepsol. That's kind of a name brand kind of deal. We're going to use SX330, which is PPG's solvent-borne cleaner, slow evaporating stuff. Or you could use alcohol to clean it and you'd be just fine. So any rate, just make sure that surface is clean. Whatever you wipe on there, make sure it gets wet and make sure that you dry it off with another towel. I think those are probably the most important things about cleaning a surface. Alright, so here's our stuff we're going to use to wipe it down. Just the One Choice SX330. I've got it in this handy pump-up spray bottle. It is designed to put solvent in. I've bought some like at the farm store that were for gardening, and they will not hold up to solvent. Any reputable paint store, they'll be able to direct you in the right place there. And we're using just not really a lint-free cloth, but a low-lint cloth that is white. I've seen people use glass cleaner, use blue towels. I've had bad experiences mixing stuff up. So glass cleaner, yeah, you know, for your initial clean, maybe before you start sanding and stuff on it, but I don't like to use it once I get into the paint process. And hey, that's just me. So my applicator gun, just generic kind of cheapier one, but it works well. Then I have a SEM dual mix seam sealer, and this is a self-leveling. It says high build. I mean, yeah, it's not super runny, but it's not going to just stay right where you put it. It's going to flow and level out. That's important if you want it to look smooth. And you can see here we got a 10-minute work time. 15 minutes this stuff's going to be set, and we can paint it in 15 minutes. Well, yeah, I wish we could. So, got a brand new tube here for backup. I have a tube here that's just barely been used. When you use these things, you can leave the mixing tip just attached to it. The product will get hard, it seals it up, and then when you take that tip off, you're going to need to clean it though. The cartridge itself, because there'll be a little hard material in there. So let's get that done and we'll start laying some seam sealer down. Oh, look at how grody them threads are, man. That's bad. Wonder if a new one will even screw on it. Just want to get all that crap off so you don't contaminate. And you can still thread on and thread off these tips, because hey, you may not use it all in one sitting, fellas. It goes further than it looks. So I'll put that back in there without the tip on it, so that I can take and I can squeeze a little. I want to make sure it's coming out even out of both sides of that tube. So hopefully you can see that we got good flow there. Now, if we put the tip on, you take this tip and screw on there tight, pull the trigger, see it magic. It's coming up in there and it's all mixed up. Now I'll run out a little bit there. That makes sure everything coming out of that tip now is a thoroughly mixed product. Oh, something I did do is I put this paper down here because this stuff is flowable. It'll continue to run after you put it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off and I'm going to point that little nozzle down in it and we're just going to let it eat. I'm trying to not do that or that. Try to keep that dude buried down in there as much as you can. Come on, turkey. Easier said than done. You know, I started to mask all this the whole way. I thought, you'll be fine. It won't matter. Well, it's starting to kind of matter. Notice I'm not just filling this thing completely full either. I'm letting it run out there and it's depositing a good amount, believe me. We're just trying to get enough to fill the bottom of that ditch and make it where it doesn't allow water to leak into the car or corrode or rust or anything else down in there that it hasn't already done. Now we're at the Continental Divide. Everything from here is going to run to the front. Just keep her going. Going. Come on. Ugh. So, you guys think this is a good idea? A bad idea? I mean, for new cars, you've got to do this kind of stuff. And this will work in your roof ditches and all those new car pieces to fill it in and smooth out and look OEM. All right, so we're going to let that do its thing there, I guess. Yeah. What do y'all think? Should we drag a little piece of a stir stick down in it, or should we just let it go? It's supposed to level out, guys. You can see back here it's kind of starting to smooth out a lot. So I think we might just let it do its thing. Other than I need to clean that off. I need to clean that off. Handy thing about having masking paper. And a lot of times I would do this right before I paint, but man, it's a lot of guesswork here in how much that's going to run, what the end's going to look like. Am I going to need to sand it? At any rate, there you go. 2-component seam sealer in the books. And they sell this in a lot of different styles. You can get heavy bodied stuff that, boy, you put it on there and it stays. I like the 2-component side of it because once it sets up, it is set. You don't have to worry about solvents or anything messing with it. All right, so, yep, running around, trying to look like I know what I'm doing. So, we're going to throw a little DX330 up in here, make this stuff toolable. See, it's still wet on this end. And I'm just going to take a Harbor Freight chip brush. I'm going to spray it with this stuff. I looked for an acid brush that was small. And of course, I couldn't find one in the hurry I was in. So we're just going to use this and we're going to poke it down in there and drag it. With that wax and grease remover in there, that should just like flow right on out. Okay, a little bit happier with it, still not 100%. Better, better, better. There we go. That's looking better. Better, better, better. Okay. There we go. Just kind of clean up any errant residue that might have come off of something. Just wishing I could get this one spot to look a little better right in here. You know, you're really going to have to be staring at it. I think that's going to be all right, guys. It's been 15 minutes yet, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to peel that little piece of tape out of there. I've got a bunch of extra tape in here. You want to try to pull out think about it when you're laying it down, and leave that last piece of tape so that it'll cut an edge there for you where your seam sealer is. Then you don't have to worry about fiddling with it later. So we got that out of there. This one back here, it didn't run out hardly at all. Maybe I wasn't putting enough on there. All right, so yeah, that's pretty cool. There we go, guys. Your quick tutorial on 2-part seam sealer, and actually not just laying it out on something, but like doing a project with it. You know, it's been long enough to pull that off, but the stuff's still not fully set up on the gun. You could pull the trigger and get more of that to come out if you needed to. So, hey, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, hey, and your product will come with directions for you. Give you some best practices using this stuff. Hopefully my video will help add to whatever the directions tell you that's specific about that product. I mean, tons of different ones out there. You may not be in the US where you can buy SIM. 3M makes an awesome line of products. This just happened to be what the store I went to, they sold all SIM stuff. So that's what we used. And hey, you guys have an awesome day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up, and we'll catch you all on the next video.